All right, well, we are back in business. We have a pretty solid run going, chat. But we've also only killed 4 frickin' bosses in 3 hours and 20 minutes. We could go kill Dark Lurker at this point. Three Titanite, 3 large. I don't know, the 1 weapon per boss restriction is, I gotta say, it is definitely making this run a little bit more complicated and difficult, but I don't mind. Yo, Couscous, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, man. Thank you. I think we should maybe go see what Chariot is. Warpick's pretty good. I'm a fan. Oh, come. Dude, that's... I like how this guy somehow has aggroed me now. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's totally fine. I wasn't worried at all. I was kind of worried. Really? Why is it always horses? It's staggered before. Dude, these big weapons, like backstabbing with these big weapons is so satisfying. Where did the other horse go? I hate these fucking horses. I hate these horses so much. Hey, Edge, thank you for the 88 months. Thank you very much. Kind of weird. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Okay. The infinite shield stability enemies. Yeah, their stability is actually crazy. I don't know what boss we're gonna get here. I don't know what I want to use. It's too many for. I don't know, man. The one weapon per boss thing is like a lot to keep track of. Oh yeah, these enemies like don't chase you though. Oh. That AoE is fucking massive. No, you don't. And my washing pole's almost broken already. What the f... It's Covetous? I mean, I guess it's one weapon per boss. You know, these guys aren't the boss. What do I kill Covetous with? Chariot Lance? Twin Blade? Pike? Did I kill anything with the pike yet? Malformed claws? I don't think these are very good. Alright, come here, Covetous. God, he almost ate me. Stasis is actually a really good weapon, though. Believe it or not. I mean, the range isn't good, but it does really good DPS. On enemies that are weak to strike. Covetous is easy no matter what. Did not mean to roll twice there. Goodbye. What now? Where to next? I mean, we could check Rat Authority. Could also see what Skeleton Lords is. Hey, still we fall. What's up? Do we have the soldier's key? No. Well, we have the lock stones, so I guess we can go loot this area. I don't really want to go to the gutter, to tell you the truth. What the f- Is there an item in here? I can't remember. Nope. Well, he dropped something. Rotten, randomized to rotten. Dang. That's pretty nice. Dragonstone. Wait. Oh, we have all the DLC 1 stuff. Except for the... well, the item to actually go there. I think it's the middle one that you need. Yeah, that Aldea in the gutter was so fucked up. I was so unlucky. I feel like there's an item in here. In one of these, maybe? Maybe not. Okay, no. So it's just that door, and then... Yeah, it's just that door and the ramp, I guess. So there is an item here, but I think you need to do the lockstone that's above in order for that to open. This makes the guy throw the axe. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I don't know how much I like the King's Ultra Greatsword. It's alright. Doesn't seem... Maybe I need more strength or something. Shoot. I don't remember which ones of these I actually need at all. If any. Well, this actually leads to something. Backstabbing with these heavy weapons is so satisfying. I love it. Yeah, we got a pretty decent run going here. We're already level 118. Freaking 5 bosses in. Surely this actually leads... nope. Just a pathway. I think it's the middle one. No. God dang it. You found your branches at the bottom of Broom Tower, so it could be however deep it wants to be. Yeah. Yep. Alright. Yeah, it's 3 random bosses that have rune sentinels. That's correct. Alright. Well. Can I spend my souls first, maybe? Hold on. I only have 4 homeward bones, which, like, that's decent, but... I might spend my souls so I can dark sign here. At least you can just, like, walk into this fight and kind of... Okay, so I need 2,600. I mean, this is pretty free, to be honest. Question is, what weapon do I use? Honestly, it's pretty easy fight, so we could use anything, really. Just use the washing pole. Yeah, I already checked what's in there. It's an easy fight, so I can just use some, like, potato weapon. Giant stone axe. Let's use the regular twin blade. This is gonna be epic. What the? Oh my god, one of the enemies is even fighting the boss for me. That attack, man. Heal just in case. Oh, there's a pig. Alright, easy fight. Alright, well... I kind of wish I wish we need to, like, upgrade some weapon that's a little bit faster, though. We have good weapons, but they're all kind of slow. Large club. How many rat tails do I have? Wow, 3 lightning urns, thank you. Wow. Oh, that's good. Hey, Parkeezy, thank you for the 53 months. I don't think any amount of gift subs is gonna make me do that. I really don't like this guy. Oh, wow, 3 shards from that guy. I thought there was like a chest here. Hello, opossum. Oh yeah, there's an item in a pot here. There is pretty chill. How? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? How do I not? You bitch! I want to backstab you. The backstab on this weapon is so good. Wouldn't like greatsword. I don't know if there's any items in the tents. I don't think there is. A lot of upgrade materials. We haven't found many chunks, but we've got another weapon that we could get to like +6, so that's good. We should probably rest and get our Estus back. Maybe go upgrade to +2 Estus. And grab the item in the well. Oh, that's annoying. It's not very fun fighting two of these guys at once. I didn't really want to kill everybody again, but I also didn't want to try to rush it and get myself killed. I don't know how I didn't... Oh, right, it's the moment you drop down. Hey, Oss, thank you for the 5 months. And Villains, thank you for the bits, man. The question is, where do I go right now? I still don't have the soldier's key, so I can't go to Bastille. Yo, Lobos! Thank you for the raid. What's going on, everybody? Oh, how did the Permadeath any percent DS1 go? Have we gone down the well yet? I don't think we have. Gwendolyn sucks. Yeah, I could see that. I don't really want to go to the gutter. I think I might just loot the area before the vanguards. See if there's anything here. Maybe I'll go to the first bonfire in the gutter, but I really don't like the gutter. Hello? Wait, what the fuck? Is this guy even real? Huh? Who is this? What? 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 I don't understand. Is there like a rat in the wall that... Wait, I moved him. Wait, I can move him? Wait, what? Maybe I can jump him. He's so fat. Oh, is it because of the Covenant, you think? Oh shit, wait, no, you're right. I'm in the Rat Covenant. Okay. I forgot I was in this. Wasn't sure if I could leave there. I guess I should have just went to Majula. Whoops. Yeah, thank you very much for the raid though, Lobos. Oh, my skirt. Whoops.
Oh my.
Is this even necessary? Well, I was a little bit scared of dropping onto the little plank thing. Even though I've done it so many times, it's just... Nice jump. This is actually kind of awful. Oh, this is the... Dude, it's like you don't know what these fucking enemies are so fucking cringe. You don't know if they're ever gonna actually fucking run at you. Or if they're just gonna... Okay. Like you attack because you think they're gonna run into you, and then they don't. They just like AFK. But then the other enemy that looked like they were AFK fucking comes barreling through. Thank you for the raid, Taka. Oh my god, that was really... that was sketch. Like, I really didn't like that. Oh wow, 3 chunks though. I would say strike is probably the best, yeah. How far did your run get, Taka? Yeah, I really don't even want to explore this place right now. I kind of want to... I kind of want to do Dark Lurker now. Because we have Dark Lurker in the boat. But the question is, what weapon do I use for Dark Lurker? I do not know. A weapon with like lightning on it would be good, but we don't have any. No hidey weapons, sadly. It's crazy pickaxe has 150 counter rating. It's actually really high. Just get it to +1. Could get it higher though. So many freaking weapons, dude. Oh, this dagger seems really bad. Daggers in this game feel like they're just terrible. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if they actually are, but they just feel like probably not very good. Daggers are okay in Elden Ring. I have too many frickin' weapons, man. Goodbye. I don't know if I ever went to the merchant here yet. Buy his weapons. Ooh, a bunch of Titanite shards. Oh yeah. Gladly buy those.
The path is yet.
Path. Why is there a dino butt? I hate this. I don't know. I was thinking about just running past him, but I don't want him to hit me with his magic attack. They have a grab attack. I don't think it's like a one shot like the hippos are though, but maybe it is. My handy +1 pickaxe. Nice. Why is he Guys, I don't have enough. I don't have enough repair powder for this. Seven? I guess we gotta use 2 shitty weapons, chat. Well, the pick is shitty in the sense that it broke in like fucking just a few hits. Can't even aim up at all. Fucking wet noodle. Should have just used the pike the first time. I didn't realize the pickaxe is has such low durability. Oh, he dropped something. Hey, Shiba Sans, thank you for the 49 months. Hello, Remy. Yeah, this item is annoying to grab. There really should have been a way to, like, get on top of this elevator without having to take it up first. The shield I'm using gives 13 level ups. 13 free levels. Pretty massive. Wow. Knock down the dog. Damage is so good though. Okay, dude. I love how the moment I go to attack, the dog does his attack, and then I miss. Oh my god, the range on this thing is like deceptively not as good as it would seem. We're fine. That was not great though, I'll admit. That was kind of scuffed. King's Ring. Oh, shoot. We can go to Aldia's now. $20 life gems and the curse immunity. YouTube stream is dead. Yeah, I'm not really sure why. I can see that the bitrate is fucked up. Could have spared the barrel, dude. That's true. I don't know. I can turn it off and on, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It's really weird. It's like not even letting me start my YouTube stream. Oh. All right. I think it's okay now. The barrel's still gonna get pushed. I think it's just like a script that pushes it down. I don't see any enemy, but... You fuck. It's so stupid that there's no way to get this to work, like, from this approach. Is there a key for this? Yeah, I know you can... I know you can leave and come back. It's just so tedious. I probably should have... Well, I'm already there. I'm already, like, so close. I'm just gonna rest, but... Actually, I don't know. Does resting work, or do I need to reload the area? Guess I can just teleport to where I'm at. Yeah, getting the soldier's key would be nice. But we can go to Aldia's now. That would be pretty sick. I was wondering if that would blow me up. I thought since I one-shot him, it wouldn't blow me up. Keep the barrel guy alive. Nah. Sell item by the elevator? I'm pretty sure I picked that up. I think you forgot to pay attention is actually what happened. There's 2 items? What? Okay, well if there's 2 items, then I missed something, I guess. You know, I was gonna say something. I was thinking to myself, I wonder if I should heal here. And I was just thinking, it's fine. I'm gonna kill him, and then I was like, and then I got the sweet spot hit, and then, dude, I'm not even mad because it's completely my fault, and I was just greedy, and I just got impatient. Like, I was thinking about healing, and I just decided not to. I would have killed him there, but he moved too close to me, and then I got a sweet spot, and I probably could have rolled into him instead, but he was in the doorway, so I don't think I could have went to his side. Yeah. It's not even like I didn't want to save my heals. I just thought I would kill him there. And I didn't think it all happened so fast, chat, but my thought process there was, I'm gonna just commit, I'll kill him. Even if I don't kill him, he's not gonna kill me because I have 60% of my health left. And then he did an attack that can double hit you, which I didn't know. I didn't know I could get hit twice by that. So, yeah. It was just... Missed the sweet spot hit. Went for the greed because I thought I had enough health to at least just face tank another hit. And I didn't. It's like, the thing is, that wasn't even... That was just really stupid. Yeah, I didn't know he could double hit you with that attack. I've seen that attack plenty of times. I'm just normally not face tanking it because I normally don't greed that hard. It's just... That's one of the cringe things about sweet spot weapons, though. Like, if I was using any other weapon that doesn't have a sweet spot, I like... I could have killed him there, but it's just... I didn't hit the sweet spot, so it did half damage, and then he didn't die. And then he goes for the one attack that can kill me there. And I panicked because I didn't know I could get double hit, and then, yeah. It's just so stupid. It's such a stupid way to die. It's like, it's just 4.5 hours down the drain. Like, I wouldn't even be mad if I died to like some bullshit, but that wasn't even bullshit. It was just fucking, it was just a complete waste of time. Just really stupid. Check the item. Yeah, what item are you guys talking? Well, it is a waste of time because, like, I shouldn't be dying to a fucking dumb elephant. Like, it's just completely stupid. If I blocked the last attack, yeah, I mean, you're right. I might have been able to block. It's possible. This thing only has 45 physical reduction on blocking, but... I mean, yeah, I maybe could have blocked. I panicked. I didn't know I could get double hit, and then I realized, it's just funny, like, how quickly, like, I knew going for those hits was greedy, and I knew that I might get hit, but I didn't think I would get double hit. I just didn't fucking know. And it's like, I shouldn't have even greeded for that in the first place. Like, Ella would never fucking greed for that. He would just fucking roll away and heal, but I'm a fucking bozo. And I greed, and then I miss a sweet spot, and then he fucking double bangs me. But Ella wouldn't have lost 4.5 hours, and I did. Oh, it's just so demotivating. It's just like I just don't feel like I should ever die to something like that. It's just incredibly stupid. I would have liked to at least fight the difficult bosses in the run and not die to a fucking hippo or a fucking elephant. Would have been nice to actually do Vanguard or Sentinels or, you know. Instead, it's like I spent 4.5 hours fully looting every single area, going as slow as I possibly can just to die to a fucking elephant. It's just so stupid. Like, the thing is, guys, we're gonna be resetting to the bullshit bosses if we get incredibly unlucky. Like, we're going to reset to Skeleton Lords and these other fucking shit bosses, so it just feels, I mean, whatever, like, I'm just a broken record. It just feels really bad losing my run to something stupid like that and not, you know, the actual difficult part of the run. Because we can spend another 5 hours gearing up and we're just gonna go into Skelly Lords, and if we get unlucky, we were just gonna lose the run. So it's like, this run could have been one that actually made it past Skelly Lords, but now we'll never know because I just died to a hippo.